Okay, guys, this might be the craziest vlog I will ever film. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we didn't just travel to another country, we traveled to another time. It's June 6th, 1944. We are off the coast of Normandy, France. This is D-Day, the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied Europe. This is one of the most important days of World War II. I've read about it, watched movies about it, but today, we're walking right into it. I want to see everything. The beaches, the bunkers, the paratroopers, the chaos, and somehow bring you with me, safely, from the future. As we vlog this, remember, for the people around me, this isn't history. This is their first and maybe last day here. So right now, we're in what's called a Higgins boat, an American landing craft. It's packed with soldiers, gear, and honestly, fear. These boats are heading toward code-named beaches. Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword. I'm somewhere off Omaha Beach, one of the bloodiest landing zones. The plan today is massive. Allied forces from the United States, Britain, Canada, and other nations are all hitting this coastline together. The goal? Break through Hitler's Atlantic Wall and open a front in Western Europe. The Atlantic Wall is the huge defensive line built by Nazi Germany along the coast. Bunkers, artillery, machine guns, mines, obstacles in the water. Right now, we're sailing straight toward it. I've always wanted to understand what it felt like to be here. The smell of the sea, the weight of the gear, the sound of the engines. The history books tell you what happened. This vlog, I want it to show how it felt. Okay, this part is insane. Before the beach landings you always see in movies, there's something happening behind enemy lines. Right now, paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions in the US, plus British airborne units, are dropping into Normandy at night. Their job is to capture key bridges, crossroads, and cause chaos behind German lines so the beach troops can move inland. You see those shapes falling? That's not rain, that's paratroopers. Some land right where they're supposed to. Others get scattered into fields, hedgerows, even flooded marshes. Some land near villages. Some almost in the middle of enemy positions. What is wild is how fragile this part of the plan's. If these guys fail, the exits out off the beaches could stay blocked, and the troops we saw earlier in the Higgins boats will be trapped. In the future, people will talk about places like Sainte-Mère-Église, one of the first town liberated in France, captured by American paratroopers. Some parachutes even get caught on church steeples. From a history nerd perspective, I've always wanted to see this exact moment. Terrified, undertrained, overloaded soldiers dropping into the dark, hoping they're in the right field. This is the part of D-Day most people forget, when they only think about the beaches. All right, dawn is creeping in. I want you to see this.
Look at that. Ships. Everywhere. The largest armadas in history, carrying troops, tanks, supplies, and some mean. From little landing craft like this, to huge battleships and cruisers further out, bombarding the coast.
These ships are hammering German positions with naval guns, trying to knock out bunkers and artillery before the troops land. But no matter how much they fire, not everything can be destroyed. That's what makes going ashore so dangerous. On land, there are German defensive positions dug in. Concrete bunkers, trenches, machine gun nests. They've been preparing for this invasion for months, even years. They just didn't know exactly when and where it would hit. I've seen CGI recreations of this in documentaries, but being in the middle of it, it's like being inside a moving diagram of world history. Okay, we're here! Omaha Beach! Machine gun fire, explosions, smoke, everything is happening at once. Troops are trying to get off the boats without tripping, some already under fire before they even hit the sand. These weird metal structures all over the water and sand, those are beach obstacles. Check hedgehogs, stakes, mines attached to them. They're designed to rip apart landing craft and tanks before they can reach solid ground. Omaha is notorious because the German defenses here are strong and the first waves of troops face intense fire. Steep bluffs, machine gun nests, artillery. Some units suffer heavy casualties before getting off the beach. This is one of the hardest landings of D-Day. From here, you can't see the whole battle map. You just see a few meters of sand, the bodies next to you, the next piece of cover. But zoom out, And this moment is part of a huge operation that will decide the fate of Europe. As a time travel vlogger, this is where you feel the weight. You're excited to see history, but you're also watching real people risk everything. You can't jump in and change the battle. You can only show it, respectfully. Okay, I want to show you something people don't always picture when they think of D-Day. The medics. Right behind the front line, you've got guys with red crosses on their helmets moving through the chaos, dragging wounded men to cover. Their job is to run toward the injured, not away from the danger. This is what they call a collecting point. Medics try to stop bleeding, treat shock, and get people ready to be moved to bigger field hospitals further back. You can hear shells and gunfire, but in this little pocket, the only mission is keep them alive long enough to move them. On D-Day and in the days after, thousands of wounded had to be dealt with. Bullet wounds, shrapnel, burns, broken bones, drowning. The medical system had to scale up instantly, from nothing on the beach to full-on evacuation chains back to ships and hospitals in Britain. If you've ever seen the iconic battle scenes in movies, remember there's always this parallel story happening just off screen, the fight to save every life possible. Somehow they're doing it. Groups of soldiers are finding gaps, using smoke, using craters from explosions as cover, moving up the bluffs and cliffs above the beach. Once they reach these heights, they can start knocking out German positions from the side or behind. That's the turning point, when the defenders on top of the cliffs lose their ability to fire straight down onto the beach. The Germans here belong to units manning the Atlantic Wall, structures built all along the coast under orders from Hitler. Their job was to make any landing so costly that it might be pushed back into the sea. Check this out. Concrete several feet thick, firing slit facing the beach, ammunition stored inside. From a military history point of view, this is fascinating engineering. Deadly, but fascinating. As the Allies secure these positions, they can bring more troops and vehicles inland. This beach, which was a kill zone an hour ago, is slowly turning into a doorway into France. Okay, new spot. I had to see this with my own eyes. Pointe du Hoc. Here, US Rangers have just done something insane. They climbed these cliffs under fire to attack German gun positions that threatened both Omaha and Utah beaches. Before they landed, Allied ships shelled the area heavily, leaving the landscape pitted with craters. It looks like the moon, but more terrifying. The Rangers' mission was to scale the rock face with ropes and ladders, then disable heavy artillery pieces. In some cases, when they reached the top, they discovered the guns had been moved and had to hunt them down inland and destroy them. I've always read about this as one of the boldest operations on D-Day. Seeing the height of these cliffs in person, the word courage feels too small. If you could time travel to one specific D-Day mission just to observe it up close, would you pick the chaos of the beaches, the silent glide of paratroopers in the night, or a focused mission like this cliff assault? D-Day isn't just beaches and cliffs. A lot of what happens today and in the next days is in places like this, small villages and farm fields. Right now, some of these villages are being fought over house by house. Paratroopers linking up with troops from the beaches, civilians hiding in cellars. It's house by house now. You have paratroopers, civilians, and German units trying to organize counterattacks. The people who live here didn't choose to be in the middle of this. For them, D-Day means fear, destruction, but also hope. They've been under occupation for years. Today, they're hearing different languages, seeing different uniforms. The Normandy countryside is full of hedgerows, thick, tall earth and shrub walls dividing fields. These make perfect defensive positions and will turn the next weeks of fighting into close, brutal combat. This is the side of D-Day people don't always imagine. Not just a single day, but the beginning of a long, grinding campaign across France. Let's rewind a bit. Before anyone set foot on these beaches, there were rooms like this. Commanders are tracking everything. Which units are landing where, what the latest reports from paratroopers are, where German resistance is strongest. All of this, the beaches, the airborne drops, the naval bombardment, has been planned for months, with weather reports, deception operations, to fool the Germans about the real landing site. And massive logistics. The Allies even ran fake operations and inflatable tanks in other parts of Europe to trick German intelligence.
They wanted German commanders to think the main invasion might come somewhere else, like Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy.
As a history geek, this room is incredible. It's like standing inside the brain of D-Day. But out there, on the beaches and in the fields, that brain's plans are colliding with chaos, weather, mistakes, and human courage. By now, the beaches are mostly secured. Casualties are heavy, but the foothold is real. Tanks are rolling off landing craft. More supplies are piling up. Medics are treating the wounded. From a distance, it might look like just another stretch of sand. But after what we've seen today, the paratroopers in the night, the armada at dawn, the chaos of the landings, the cliffs of Pointe du Hoc, what happens after today is huge. The Allies will push inland, liberate more of France, and eventually continue toward Germany. D-Day doesn't end the war by itself, but it opens the path that makes eventual victory possible. As a time traveler, it's easy to get excited about seeing history, but standing here, it hits differently. Every statistic is a person. Every map arrow is a unit of soldiers who either make it forward or don't. So that was D-Day, for the decks of a Higgins boat, to the dark skies filled with parachutes, to the cliffs and villages of Normandy. If this time travel vlog helped you feel this day a little more, beyond just dates and names, then it did its job. D-Day is a reminder of how much planning, fear, sacrifice, and courage can fit into a single sunrise. If you want more videos where we jump into the middle of history and walk around inside it, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. What moment in history should we time travel to next? And what would you want to see there first? And if you ever visit the real beaches of Normandy in our time, remember that once they looked and sounded like this.